Salams and hello there. Thanks for checking out another Eats Meets West recipe. Today I'm making a couple of simple but scrumptious appetizers using one filling for both types. One is a flaky puff pastry pinwheel and the other is a crispy Samosa Wonton. Despite using the same filling, these taste deliciously different. One of my favorite filling combinations is chicken and spinach. But you know, this recipe is a fusion of Eastern and Western flavors. So let's get right into it and I'll show you what I mean. Start by placing about a pound or so of chicken tenderloins in a pot and adding some spices to it. I'm adding 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1.5 teaspoons of salt and a half teaspoon of pepper, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1.5 teaspoons of red chili powder, a half a teaspoon of turmeric, 2 teaspoons of coriander and 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, 1 teaspoon of tomato paste, and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice to round out the spices. Then add enough water to just about cover the top of the chicken and stir to combine. Bring this to a boil over medium-high heat. Then reduce the heat to medium and cover the pot and cook the chicken for about 35 to 40 minutes. Uncover the pot to cook for another 5 minutes until the juices are thickened. Turn off the heat and shred the chicken. I also cool the chicken before moving on to the next step. Okay, now for the twist. I'll be adding a half a package of well-drained chopped spinach, and also 1.5 cups of shredded mild cheddar cheese and a half package of softened cream cheese. This makes the filling tastier and makes it easy to spread. It actually invokes flavors of one of my favorite dips, spinach and artichoke. In fact, a thicker version of that with Parmesan or feta cheese instead of cheddar would make an awesome all-veg filling for these appetizers. So mix the chicken with the spinach, cream cheese, and cheddar cheese all together until well combined in a bowl. Then I use prepared puff pastry sheets for the pinwheels, which are easy to make and really elegant visually, like savory cookies or biscuits when fully baked. I lay out 1 sheet of pastry on some foil and take about half of the filling, or a little less if you're reserving some for the samosa wontons like I am, and spread it out almost all to the edges, except for the top of the sheet, where you leave about 1/4 inch of pastry to be able to create a seam and close the pinwheel roll that I'm about to show you. Now start from the bottom and tightly and evenly roll up towards the top of the seam. Then turn the roll up and pinch the seam shut. If it unravels a little bit, that's okay, because I'm going to take it and roll it up in some parchment paper and pop it in the freezer for about 15 minutes, seam side down, to firm it up and make cutting the pinwheels easier. You could freeze the roll for longer and make these ahead of time, but when cutting the pinwheels, the roll should not be frozen solid. Then with a serrated knife, I cut the pinwheels about 1/2 inch wide. I place them about 1 inch apart on a greased baking tray and bake in a preheated 370-degree oven until golden brown. Baking times can vary between ovens. Mine takes about 20 to 25 minutes, but keep an eye on it. Now for the samosa wontons. I take a wonton wrapper and place a teaspoon of the filling inside, seal the edges in a triangle shape with a bit of water, following the directions on the wonton wrappers. I fry these up in my fryer at 350 degrees until crispy. Lightly separate them and turn them over until golden brown. These are so gorgeous with flecks of green showing through. Arrange these on a serving tray and your family and friends will be truly wowed. These are visually stunning and very savory, perfect as appetizers or snacks for your loved ones. That's all she wrote, folks. Thanks for sticking around to the end. As usual, recipe details are in the description box below. With salams!